Forget the headlines that focus on everything but the game. Let's be real here for a moment. If Caitlin Clark were just an average player, would she be as renowned as she is today? Absolutely not. Her widespread recognition is a testament to her extraordinary talent for those who believe that game. Recognizes game, the accolades and respect Caitlin receives from the NBA legends speaks volumes about her abilities. This young phenom is reshaping women's basketball. It's just that simple, but don't just take our word for it. From the NBA greats themselves, the first legend who's been very vocal about Clark's talent is Kevin Garnett. On his podcast Ticket and Truth with Paul Pierce, Garnett discussed Clark's potential to compete at the highest level, and Pierce asked a thought-provoking question: could Caitlin Clark score in an NBA game if she played 30 minutes? Garnett did not hesitate to answer. He compared Clark's playing style to Steph Curry, stating, "Hey,
if you ain't in a Steph Curry shape, that's how she plays, bro. She gonna give you more than 10. She can shoot, and she got work, bro. It ain't tough no more. You can't hand check. And if you let a motherfucker wiggle, you feel me? Yeah. Man, she can wiggle. Matter of fact, what's she playing with? A women's ball? Women's ball?
Nah, she playing with the NBA ball. She can get 10.
She can still get money in that motherfucker.
I think she can get 10.
King Garnett, a Hall of Famer, speaks so highly of Clark, just shows how extraordinary her talent is, and Garnett isn't alone in his admiration for Caitlin Clark. His podcast partner Paul Pierce has also been pretty vocal about her talent after Clark's Iowa team defeated LSU, with Clark dropping 41 points. Pierce was pretty quick to give credit where it was due. Asked about Iowa's victory, Pierce didn't hold back.
Asked about Iowa's victory, Pierce didn't hold back, saying,
I mean, the obvious answer is Caitlin Clark. But let me tell you something before I get to her. I was mesmerized by her. And I will tell you this. This was the greatest performance I've ever seen in the NCAA tournament, girl or boy.
But the truth didn't stop there. His further comments created a media frenzy. He bluntly just shared his admiration for Clark's dominance, adding,
we saw a white girl in Iowa do it to a bunch of black girls. Well, of course. That made it like, oh, that gained my respect. That's like, oh, she didn't do this to some other little white girls that was over here in Colorado, wherever. She did it to some girls from LSU who we thought was some dogs.
Defending champs,
and put them on her knee and spanked them.
Now, another vocal NBA legend has been Allen Iverson. Iverson's impact on basketball is immense. Obviously, his influence on the game, both on and off the court, are undeniable, and he sees in Clark a similar transformative potential for women's basketball. Before Clark was drafted into the WNBA, Iverson praised her NCAA performances. When asked about his thoughts on Clark, Iverson spoke his mind: man, shoot the blood out of the ball, you know what I mean? And then just how aggressive she is, and not just scoring and basketball getting. Her teammates involved as well. I think she's so great for the game, it was a pleasure watching her, and I just think down the road she's going to only get better. Allen Iverson's admiration highlights just how exceptional her talent is and reinforces her impact on the sport. Caitlin Clark's ability to score or set up her teammates from anywhere on the court, all with momentum, makes her a thrill to watch for any basketball fan. Her deep three-pointers from the logo remind many of Stephen Curry, and her incredible court vision allows her to make these accurate one-handed passes out of nowhere, making her a constant threat. Women's college basketball has always had great players at the top, from Cheryl Miller to Cheryl Swoops to Lisa Leslie to Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, Bonna Stewart to Sabrina Ionesco. However, a deeper talent pool came out of college this time, creating more stars and attracting new audiences to the WNBA. Fans are tuning in not because they're told to support women's sports, but because the games have become more compelling on their terms, and it's Clark who represents this shift. Her dynamic play style not only captivates die-hard basketball fans, but also draws in those who might not have previously followed women's basketball. It's her extraordinary talent and thrilling performances that are breaking barriers and bringing new eyes to the sport. And with her incredible performance and record-breaking achievements at Iowa, Shaq couldn't help but give her due respect. He went as far as declaring her as the best female collegiate player
ever.
I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
It's hard to argue with Shaq's assessment. With what Clark achieved, her record speaks for itself. She dominated the Big Ten Like no one before, becoming the only player to lead her conference in both scoring and assists for 4 consecutive seasons. She also holds the NCAA Division I all-time scoring record and also broke the NCAA tournament records for three-pointers and scoring. But what's truly remarkable is how Clark is making waves in the WNBA now, doing things that have never been seen before. Her presence is transformative, not just during the game, but also far beyond the court. Her capacity to attract large crowds and significantly boost television viewership is unmatched by any of her peers. This drawing power, however, has not been without controversy, as it seems to have stirred a little bit of envy among her peers. Clark has maximized the moderate advantages of social media, propelling her brand and endorsements to levels previously unseen in women's basketball. But despite her immense popularity, the narrative around her insists that she receives no special treatment on the court, nor should she be subjected to undue criticism simply for being who she is. Her influence has lifted the WNBA heights once thought unattainable, a fact not lost on LeBron James. Speaking on his podcast Mind the Game, LeBron emphasized Clark's impact.
The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. You know, they flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right. For anyone that's, in sports that's flown commercial or flown, charter, that should be celebrated. And it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
This from LeBron doesn't just highlight Caitlin's skills. It acknowledges the weight of expectation she carries and her role in shaping the future of women's basketball. Her journey in the WNBA, though, hasn't been without its hurdles, despite a rocky start to the season, with the Indiana Fever harsh flagrant 1 foul from Kennedy Carter of the Chicago Sky. Clark continues to garner support from basketball's elite, and among her prominent advocates is also Charles Barkley, who shared his thoughts on her during an interview. He was full of praise for Clark, particularly noting her professionalism and her ability to stay clear of media dramas.
I mean, what she's done for the game the last couple of years, I mean, she is a shining star. And the thing I like about her, man, she doesn't say a word. Yeah, she's never said a word about anybody. She just shows up and does her job.
Despite his expectations that Clark would face physical challenges from WNBA veterans, Barkley expressed a little disappointment over the extent of the rough play.
But I didn't think she was going to have to worry about all this petty nonsense that's going on.
Despite his expectations that Clark would face physical challenges from WNBA veterans, Barkley expressed a little disappointment over the extent of the rough play.
First of all, what did you expect was going to happen to her? Number one, I don't think it's jealousy. Oh my God, she's getting all the endorsements. We're going to go after her. You're playing at the highest level. You're playing in the WNBA. You're coming from college and you're going to the pro ranks, right? What did she expect was going to happen? Why are people so shocked, right? You're playing against grown women. The same thing happened to us as rookies. Going against MJ, they're out there trying to embarrass you. It's nothing personal.
However, there are some people who don't see the situation through the same lens. Former Pacers guard Reggie Miller offered a contrasting viewpoint. While he appreciates the growing respect for women's basketball, he challenges is the notion that Clark is unfairly targeted. Miller said,
right? We've played. We understand when someone gets too much power, too much money, they get handed all of these things without earning it. It pisses people off naturally. Right? We've seen it with LeBron James. For example, right?
While Reggie Miller sees the competitive challenges faced by Clark as a normal part of professional sports, Gilbert Arenas sheds light on another dimension of her situation. On his podcast, Arenas discussed the undercurrent of resentment that some of Clark's peers might feel toward her rapid rise in significant media attention. He explained, Caitlin has quickly become a focal point in the WNBA, and this spotlight has created a range of reactions from her peers, ranging from admiration to envy. Furthermore, her impact seems to extend beyond just media narratives and into tangible improvements within women's basketball. There have been advancements like better travel accommodations and other improvements that players and fans alike have long deemed necessary. However, these beneficial changes have sparked a debate about whether they're directly linked to Clark's increasing visibility or something else. and this scenario underscores how Clark's influence may be acting as a catalyst for changes that are reshaping the landscape of women's basketball, pointing to her pivotal role in the evolution of the league. The rivalry between her and Angel Reese is also rapidly becoming one of the most compelling narratives in the WNBA, drawing parallels to the legendary rivalry between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Their competition began to take shape during the 2023 NCAA Championship, and much like Magic and Bird, they have become personifications of their respective teams' identities, mirroring the iconic rivalry that defined the NBA. Generations ago, this competitive spirit, which started in college, has unfolded into a full-blown professional rivalry, capturing the imaginations of fans, and Magic Johnson himself has noted the
Ask you about these WNBA players, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, who many are saying are the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson of the WNBA. Do you like that when you hear that?
I like it, and they are.
He also acknowledged the significant impact both players are having on the league.
They're doing great things for the league.
Clark and Reese are not just linked by their competitive encounters, they are connected in their WNBA journey. Both entered the league in the same class, are contenders for the Rookie of the Year award, and each has a strong base of supporters who bring their own mix of passion, debate, and personal investment. To every game, the rivalry is enhanced too by layers of personality, racial dynamics, and on-court narratives that resonate deeply with the fans, making every single matchup a must-watch event. Now, back to Clark. The journey she has been embarking on in her professional career is nothing short of captivating. Fresh off her collegiate triumphs, she found herself at the base of a new mountain in the WNBA, and this transition, of course, hasn't been without its challenges. Her team, the Indiana Fever, has struggled, and Clark herself is faced difficulties in replicating her college-level dominance. Through the first 13 games, she posted averages of 16 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. Pretty impressive for a rookie, but not the kind of statistics that make front-page news. But despite these early hurdles, there are clear signs that she's adapting and evolving. She's fine-tuned in her game, adjusting her shooting and passing to meet the challenges of professional play. You can see her leadership on the court, to directing herself and her teammates to where they need to be to maximize their effectiveness. Even though she could be better at times, this adaptation process is why so many NBA legends continue to believe in her potential. They recognized her raw talent early on, and now they're watching her transform challenges into opportunities, reshaping her game to conquer the WNBA, just as she dominated the collegiate courts. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the episode if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.